Welcome to the Gold Medal Girls podcast. I'm your host, Delaney Thibodeau. Gold Medal Girls is all about sharing the experiences of women in sports, including athletes, coaches, trainers, sports psychologists, executives, and tons more. We're here to promote these amazing people to build more and more support for women in sports. Be sure to listen as episodes will drop every other Tuesday, and I'll be interviewing a woman in athletics so we can learn more about their lives and amplify their voices. I hope you're as excited as I am to hear what they have to say. And without further ado, let's get into the episode. Hello, and welcome to episode 7 of Gold Medal Girls. So glad to be back with a new episode. This episode is going to be part 2 of my interview with Jacqueline Madogo. And as a refresher, Jacqueline is a track athlete who made a splash at the Olympics in Paris 2024 and has also attended the World Championships, and she's continuing to crush it with several different sprinting events as well as the 4x100 meter relay. I really hope you enjoyed the first half of our interview, and I'm really excited to share the second part, where we'll talk more about her journey into Paris for the Olympics, what her national and world championships have been like, and just in general, more about how she's such an amazing human and athlete. Jacqueline's truly awesome, and if you like this episode, please do me a huge favor and like the episode of the podcast, like the podcast itself, follow the podcast wherever you listen. It actually makes such a huge difference to the show. And with that being said, here's part 2 of my interview with Jacqueline Madogo.
I really had a rough time in 2022, but I was still thankful. I made the relay team to go to Worlds, and coming back in 2023, I had been having like an okay season, and then our provincial at our Athletics Ontario Championship, I don't know what was going on that day, but I was just like, okay, well, I'm already here. Let's just try to like go out with better results than we came in. And like the 100 went super, super well. And like I wasn't really known as a 200 meter runner. Like I was okay at it. Like I was running 23 mid, like 23.6, like nothing crazy. And the second day is the 200 meter day, and the 200 has heats and finals. And in the heats, I ran a really big PB. Like I ran 23.3, and I was like, oh my God, like I was so happy. And then in the finals, I ran 23.1, and I was like, oh my goodness, yay, another PB.
Woo!
No, literally. And then we go to the championship, which that year we're in Langley, BC, and day 1 is the 100, and then day 2 is the 200. So day 1 goes well. I won my first medal in athletics, like senior nationals. I got 3rd in the 100, which I was really, really happy because the previous year I hadn't even made the podium. And then the second day comes around, and it's 200 day, and I'm like exhausted. I'm like telling my coach, I'm like, I'm so tired. Like, I didn't want to be there anymore. I was like, we can just leave. Like, I did not care to run that 200. And I was like a super, like, my mindset was terrible. And he was just like, we're running it. Like, you're not scratching. We're running it. And started warming up for the prelims. And there was one girl that was really good that I knew was in my heats, and I was like running blind. So I was in lane 8. So it's kind of like, you can't see anyone behind you.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, you better get out, because basically you're fighting for the best possible lane in the final. So
Okay.
because it's a turn, there's a turn, you don't want to get like an inside lane. You don't want to be in lane 1 for the final.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, all I need to do is win my heat. So I won the heat, and it was like really, really, like I knew there was more in the tank. And obviously, like after the heats, I was like, okay, I want to run sub 23. And that was the goal. I was like, I'm gonna run sub 23, and if I have to like slide through the line to get it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So then the final comes around, and it's stacked. Like there's a lot of really, really talented like people in it, and one person that is in it is obviously my training partner and also one of my best friends, Zoe. And we're she's very competitive. She's outwardly competitive. Like
Okay.
I'm more like I'm like I want us to both do really well. And she's like, Jacqueline, I want to crush you. Which is like good because I need more of that. Like I'm not a super competitive person. Like I'm not gonna like go up to you and be like, I want to crush you, but like I want to do my best for myself.
Yeah.
And she was right. I was in lane 5, she was in lane 6. And all I knew was in my head when that gun goes, I was like, I want to eat her up around the bend. I
Nice.
just want to fly by her going into the straightaway. That was my only focus. Like I didn't care if anyone beat me. All I wanted to do was beat her,
Just
beat her,
beat her.
beat her the straightaway. Because whoever won that race was gonna get bragging rights. The gun goes, and all I'm focusing on is like literally making up the stagger with Zoe. Like I catch up to her, and then we come through the straightaway, and I'm just like, I don't see anyone else with me, and I'm like, I have like this moment where I'm just like, pump those arms, and just like cross the finish line. And when I crossed the finish line, I saw 23 come across like the big scoreboard that was on the ground, and I was like, ugh. And then like I looked up at the big jumbotron and it said 22.9, and I was like so happy. I was like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I just ran 22.9. Like that was like I didn't even have the goal of running sub 23 until like the prelims of the 200, and
Yeah.
like it ended up being in my favor. But I was really happy, and that was like an incredible moment because like the season had been going like super up and down, and like to finish on a high, that was like the cherry on top.
Oh my gosh. And you beat your training partner. So hey,
Yeah. And I beat Zoe.
maybe that's like fuel for more competition for then both of you though, you know? So
Yeah.
it works
She
out.
runs the 4 and I run the 100, and like the 200 is like our middle ground. So
Okay.
we meet in the middle with the 200. So it's okay.
Yeah, so it's all good then. She's got her own thing too.
Exactly.
And we'll jump forward again now to Paris because we've got to talk about Paris, of course. So in Paris, you did the 100 meter, 200 meter, and you did the relay.
Yeah.
Um, and you crushed it at everything. Congrats on all the
Thank you.
bests and all of just amazing, amazing trip, it sounds like. What were some of the highlights and lowlights in kind of your road to the Olympics?
I think the like lowlights, obviously not making the semis in the 100. That was really I missed it by like 1/100th, which
Mhm.
was really really hard. But I knew immediately like I couldn't stay in the state of like feeling sorry for myself because I had so many other events. But I was like, okay, well, we did make it in the 100. We're gonna push to make it in the 200. And coming out of the gates, the first round, obviously I'm handed a really tough heat, which I'm just like, well, great. I'm like, I have the Gabby Thomas in my heat and like 3 other girls that are like obviously a lot faster than me. So all I could said was just, and I was running in lane 8, so whew, that's tough to not be able to see. But
Yeah.
I just told myself, like, just run with confidence and like whatever happens, happens. Like you're already here, like you've made it to the big stage. And like, although like I had to run the repechage round, I was able to PB and run like in front of 80,000 people and run my fastest. And I was really happy. Like first run out of the gate, PB, like out of world champion, out of Olympics. And then I ran the repechage round the next day. And then I PB'd again. And I was like, oh my goodness, like there's something about running in lane 8. Cause I kept drawing lane 8. I was like, oh my God. Um,
It's a good
so
luck lane now.
yeah, I'm like, always put me in lane 8 now.
Yeah.
So I PB'd again, and that got me to the semis. So that was like, okay, we did make the semis in the 100, but now we got an opportunity to race in the semis. And although I didn't make it out of the semis, I was still very happy with the performance and how it went because I was able to run sub 23 3 different occasions. And also the repechage and the semis were 4 hours apart. So to come back and run another sub 23 run was like incredible. And I was really happy with how everything shifted and how things turned around for me. And then with the relay, I remember specifically sending this text to my coach the night before. I was like, we'll need to run the Canadian record to make the finals. Like, I just knew, like, I was like, we're going to run it and we'll need to run it to make it to the finals. And we did run the Canadian record in the prelims to make the final, which obviously, like, yeah, track is an individual sport, but having that experience with the girls and being able to go through that with them, that was like really, really, really like one of the biggest highlights, because the women's 4x1 in Canada has been, we like the last time we made the Olympics was in Rio. So we missed the 2021 Olympics, and we had really inconsistent results. So us making the final was like a big statement. Like, yes, we're back. Yes, we're good, and we can compete. And going into the finals, we're just like, okay, let's just have fun. Like, honestly, like nobody expected us to make it to the final, and anything can happen, especially in a relay. Like, people drop
Yeah.
batons left and right. Just like focus on yourself and focus on what you have to do. And we got sixth. Like, yes, of course, we want a medal. Everyone wants to medal, but it's not our time yet. We're still a really young team, and it's just a matter of like working together, getting faster, getting better. And
Mhm.
like, I wouldn't, for me, it wouldn't be a shock if we made it to another final or even medaled. I think we all have the same goals and aspiration to moving forward. And I think all the girls are working really hard, and having the same vision helps a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely. And having um that kind of bond, like you said, with those girls, like kind of just moving as like one thing, through the relay, just being as like seamless, I guess, as you can probably too with the handoffs.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite parts of being at the Olympics? Did you have some of the muffins that everybody was obsessed with?
I did try the muffin. I'm not a big chocolate girl, so for me it just tasted like a box cake. Like, I don't know much. I don't have a sweet tooth also, so like I'm more of a savory person, but my
Mhm.
friends that do love chocolate said it was really good, and I was
There
just
we
like,
go.
oh, well, it's okay. But I did. I think another favorite moment of in Paris was having my family there. They were able to be in the stadium, come to all the
Oh,
races, and like
good.
enjoy France, and they went to like see other sports too. So like they weren't just they were watching a lot of track, but like they also did get to watch other sports, which was nice.
Nice. I'm sure your dad must have been pretty emotional. It sounds like he's
Yeah, he
been a
was.
huge supporter from the very
Yeah,
beginning.
yes, him and my mom were definitely like through the roof cheering, but my siblings were also really happy and cheering, so that was fun.
How does it feel to get to call yourself an Olympian?
I don't know. It's just like I feel like for me, it's like I go through things. I go through like phases where I'm just like, oh my god, it's super cool, and then there's other times where I'm just like, okay, like it's normal, but it's not. Like it's no, like it's not. It's not everyone gets to call themselves an Olympian. And like for me, it's like I train with two of my other like teammates are also went to Paris. So like there's I'm surrounded with Olympians, and like there's also a few on the distance side that also went to Paris. So it's like there's quite a few of us. So it's like kind of like normal, but it's not. It's like we just live in the small communities, which makes it normal.
Yeah, totally, totally. What have been some of the more like fun, meaningful parts that now, since you're on this global Olympic stage now, I imagine that gives you more opportunity to kind of connect with people, and just like more of a platform, I guess, to talk about, like you were saying, like about track, but also like who you are as a person. Like, what have been some of the fun parts of that?
I think it's just like a lot of people just ask me like, "Oh, like do you struggle with like certain things?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like just being vocal about certain things. Like, yes, I've struggled with a lot of mental health stuff, and I'm number one advocate for that. And I've had my own ups and downs with anxiety, and I've had my fair share of feeling really, really down on myself and like not wanting to get up and go to practice. I mean, people only see like the 0.1% of your life. And it's like a lot of people will post like all the highlights and all the good stuff. But behind the scenes, it's like, yeah, a lot of us have bad days, and there's a lot more bad days than people think.
Hmm.
Not every day I want to wake up. I'm waking up tearful and like I'm going to practice, like grinning from ear to ear. Like a lot of the time, it's like, ugh, like I don't want to practice. Like that's, but people think that like, oh my God, you must. Yes, I do love it and I enjoy it once I'm doing it, but like it is a lot on the body. It is a lot on like you miss out on a lot of things like socially and like even with family. Like I live 5 hours away from my family. I do miss out on certain things,
Hmm.
which looking back, it's always like, oh, like, am I missing out on too much? Like, am I not participating in family stuff enough? But obviously those are sacrifices that come with it, but it's yeah, it is sad when you're there's like a bunch of pictures of people at like a family gathering and you're not there and like just missing out on like weddings and things like that and like baby showers. So there are a lot of sacrifices that come with it, which I don't think people would realize that athletes struggle with. And
Hmm.
for me, it's like just I post what I think would like give people a more insightful view on who I am. Obviously, I'm still a very private person. I don't want everyone knowing everything about me. Like I like to keep some things to myself. Um, but also like I want everyone to still know that like we're human and like we go through emotions just like everyone does.
I think that's so important, especially with how social media can be sometimes, as far as only showing the highlights of everybody's lives. That
Mhm.
it's like, sure, there are these amazing highlights and accomplishments and successful moments, but then it's like, at the end of the day, like you said earlier, it's like athletes are human beings. It's like there are ups and downs.
Yeah.
So I think the honesty with that is really admirable.
Yeah.
Um, and that's great. So, last couple questions here. Growing up, who were your role models in sport?
I have to say, playing a lot of soccer growing up, obviously like Kristen Sinclair, a huge like face of women's soccer, inspired me a lot. And another player were like two other players were Ashley Lawrence and Kadisha Buchanan, just because obviously they're women of color and they both played defender. So I tried to emulate my game to them. And Alex Morgan, I think, were like my biggest influence growing up when I was playing soccer. And now it's kind of shifted in the track world. There's a lot of strong, powerful women of color that I look up to, but primarily I would say Shelly Ann Fraser Price is like I love that woman. She is so strong. She's outspoken. She's bold. She's just somebody that I would love to just emulate. She's very confident. And like when she walks into the room, people just listen and she just commands a room.
What would you say to these people if you had the chance to meet them?
Oh my God. I don't know. I
If
feel
they're
like I
not here right now, it's okay.
know. I feel like I would just be too like shy to like ask anything, but I would actually like ask them like what's like the biggest lesson they've learned in
Yeah.
like this respective sport.
Yeah. It's that is a really interesting one. I mean, obviously I'm asking everybody their questions about their sports too, and it's yeah, it is so fun. And that's a great group of women to have as role models. Good. I love that list. If you knew that you would be successful at it, is there a new sport that you would want to try?
Oh my God. It doesn't have to be track.
No, could be anything.
Okay.
Just something that
Uh,
looks fun.
okay. I'm really into like basketball and like women's basketball. I would love to play basketball or gymnastics. I am
Okay.
not flexible at all. If I could magically get flexible and do tumbles and things like that, gymnastics. But if not, then I guess I'll stick to basketball.
Have a backup basketball career.
Yeah, exactly.
What event do you think would be your favorite in gymnastics? Would you want to do the beam? Would you be tumbling on the floor? What would your skill of
Okay.
choice be?
Oof. Okay, the vault is kind of scary because you go up in the air and then the
Yeah.
impact when you land.
And
That
you're
one just
running full force at this thing
yeah,
that's
you're running
not
with like
moving.
speed. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna rule that one out. I already have really bad ankles, so like that wouldn't work. But I find the beam really, really cool. But
It's
also
yeah.
it's really hard. So it's like everything you do in gymnastics is just hard, but I would say beam.
Okay. Beam was I did gymnastics when I was like younger and like in high school a little bit, and beam was one of my favorites for sure. It
Okay.
is so scary though sometimes depending on what you're doing, and like I always preferred doing like forward facing skills like front walkovers and things, but
Okay.
usually people they always start you with backwards skills on the beam because it's easier like when you're going backwards to be able to like see where your hands are going to like know
Yeah.
where to land. Whereas when
Mm.
you're doing frontward facing things, it's like you can see your hands, but then your feet have to just kind of come blindly over you. So
Yeah. And also like the beam is so tiny and I have like big feet. So I'm like,
that could be good though, because you might be able to like just really be on it, which would
oh,
be
okay. Okay.
would could I think you'd be okay.
Okay.
Um, what was a moment for you that you would say is like your gold medal moment? Just like a moment or an achievement that stands out that could be in sport, could be out of sport that you just you know it's gonna always stick with you.
I think obviously like my okay, when I found out that I like the list came out like officially made the team, I actually was at practice, so like I didn't really get to like I got the email and I like obviously they posted it on socials, but I didn't like see it first. Like I just looked at my phone after practice and I had like all these messages from like my family group chat because like my mom had seen it and stuff and like they obviously saw it and like it's like a surreal moment because like they all like sent videos in the group chat of like them like reacting to it and like my cousins also like sent me like videos and things like that. So I think that was like probably my favorite moment.
Oh wow. That's so cool that it was like more so finding out from your family. Like
Yeah, exactly. Like they're like, it came out. And I was like, what came out? So then I
you're
was
like,
scrolling through
ah.
all the messages.
That's really fun. I love that though. That's really sweet to have that connected moment with them.
Yeah.
What hopes do you have and what changes do you want to see for the future of women's sports?
I hope obviously to keep growing it. That's the main thing. I think now we're in a position where like obviously social media has taken off so much that we can do a lot of things. A lot of people are watching women's sport, and that's all we can ask for. There's still like a pay gap, and like that's something we're still trying to minimize. But just people paying attention and watching and finding it exciting is like what I want to bring to the table. In track and field, I think it's really um, I think all events are very exciting, but obviously the viewers have different opinions. But women's track and field is just as exciting as men's track and field. It's just different. Yeah, obviously we're not running men times, but it's just as competitive. And in other sports too, like basketball, gymnastics, there's like huge faces in tennis too, and like and women's hockey, and like all these new leagues that are opening up. Volleyball, there's like so many leagues that are opening up, so different avenues that women can play sports beyond just like university, which I love.
It's really exciting to see, yeah, those like those newer opportunities that just are opening up and becoming pathways for people, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What message would you like to share with young girls in sports?
I think a lot of people struggle to stay in sports when they're like teenage girls, and obviously I saw it happening. A lot of girls that I played soccer with decided to just stop because they were missing out on things, missing out on high school parties, and like missing out hanging out with friends. I think for me the biggest thing is to not do things because other people are doing it and do things that you love and enjoy even if it can be deemed as not cool. A lot of things that I've done wouldn't be deemed cool, but I didn't really care, and I just stayed the course and believed in myself and believed in what I wanted to achieve. Having a sense of belief is important, and having a good sense of self, which is hard to do when you're obviously surrounded with a lot of influence, and there's like a hierarchy in high school and like even university. But being yourself is the most important thing, and keeping true to who you are is something that I always thrive to do, and something that helps me feel grounded.
Yeah. I mean, and you say that you've done some things that wouldn't be considered cool, but you've gotten to do a whole heck of a lot of things that are definitely cool. So it pays off.
Yeah, it does pay off.
It's amazing. So that is the kind of end of the, content related questions. But again, thank you so much for being here. But where can people go to stay in touch with you, follow kind of what you're up to?
Probably my most used social. I'm not really, I'm trying to be better at it, but I post from time to time on Instagram. My handle is just my name, Jacqueline, period Madogo. Yeah, so that's pretty much where you'll find a little bit about who I am and like what I do in my extra time. Probably a lot of cooking on there, track, obviously, and like just my life.
Amazing. Perfect. I mean, I follow you and I love your feed, so it's great.
Thank you.
Well, Jacqueline, thank you again so much. You are just the coolest. This was so much fun.
Thank you for having me. This was amazing. And I love what you're doing with the platform. And I hope this goes beyond and you thrive in this.
Ah, fingers crossed. Thriving for both of us would be great.
Yes.
Thanks again to Jacqueline for joining me for this episode of Gold Medal Girls. You can find her on Instagram again at jacqueline.madogo, which is also in the show notes and description below. Thank you also to Josh Halliday for the Gold Medal Girls music. And last but not least, thank you for listening to Gold Medal Girls. Please rate, review, follow the show wherever you watch or listen. You can give us a follow on social media. On Instagram, it's at goldmedalgirlspod, and on TikTok, it's just at goldmedalgirls. You can visit goldmedalgirls.com for more about the show, or email me at goldmedalgirlspod@gmail.com if you're a woman in sports and you'd like to be featured on the show. We'll see you next time.